What's up, you guys? We are back for another video, and in this video I will be showing you how I soak off my acrylic nails. As you can see, I already have them cut down low, so that is the first step, so make sure you do that. But I will be moving into how I do the actual soaking step by step. First things first, I do use the mandrel bit for the prep to get the nails as thin as possible before I start soaking. You don't really have to do this. Some people just like to go ahead and shave off that top layer and then soak, but I find that the process goes much quicker for me when I do get the nail down as thin as possible. Of course, we want it as thin as possible. We don't want to shave it all the way down because we don't want to cut in to our natural nail. When I am using the mandrel bit, I do go ahead and put the sanding band over it. As you can see, the sanding band does come in 3 types. They do have the very fine, the medium, and then the coarse, but we will be using the coarse one for our sanding band to get some of that acrylic down. So you guys, I do have my drill on a pretty high speed, and I am just going ahead and starting to shave down some of that acrylic. As you can see, it is sanding off like powder, and as you can see, I'm taking just small strokes, so I'm not holding the sanding band down that long on the nail because I don't want to burn myself. So you just want to keep on taking small short strokes and keep going until you get that nail down as thin as you would like before you start the soaking. Also, you guys, to make this process beginner friendly, meaning for those that are not actual nail techs and they don't have this professional equipment, you guys, I am incorporating a process to do this without a drill bit. So instead of using the sanding bands, for those people that don't have that equipment, you can use an 80/80 grit file, which is the coarsest nail file, to go ahead and shave down that nail. Also, you guys, with an 80/80 grit file, the edges can be pretty sharp, so you do want to make sure you go ahead and be pretty careful. I like to just dull the sides of my 80/80 grit files out with another file. As you can see, I'm using an old file to go ahead and just dull out the sides of this new file. That way you don't cut yourself in the process. So you guys, I am just sanding down, and as you can see, this nail is getting thin the same way it would have gotten thin if I was just using the drill bit. So now that we got our nails, well, the acrylic on our nails to the thickness that we would want them to be, which we don't want them that thick, we want them pretty thin, we can go ahead and start with the soaking. So you guys, there is a tool that you can buy in the store that you can use to soak your individual fingers. I like to do it just by using foil and cotton balls. So I am getting out my heavy duty Reynolds wrap foil because it does not rip as easily. And I am also going to be using just some cotton balls you buy at the store, and then just some acetone, 100% pure acetone that I got from the beauty supply store. You should be able to find this at any local beauty supply store or even like a CVS, Walgreens, and so forth. So you guys, I have ripped off a long piece of the foil, and I'm just going to cut them into singular parts so that I can wrap them around each finger. I would have done this process twice if I was soaking both of my hands, but since I'm only doing one hand, I'm just ripping off that one piece of foil and cutting it up into 5 parts. And I am also using this glove that I will be putting on my hand after I have all of my fingers wrapped. So you guys, what I do is I just place each individual finger into their own little cut out piece of foil, and then I soak the cotton ball into the pure acetone. You want to get it as wet as possible, so I am just switching the cotton ball on all sides and getting it nice and wet, and then I'm going to put it over my fingernail. My finger rests inside of the foil and then fold the foil up. Now you guys, some of the acrylic might try to drip out, so that's why you want to use this heavy duty foil. So you want to make sure that the opening part to the foil that you just scrunch together is on the top to prevent as much dripping as possible. And you guys, I'm just going to go ahead and complete this process for each and every finger. As you can see, sometimes when I feel that the cotton ball is not wet enough, I just pour some of the acetone directly onto the cotton ball as my finger rests inside of the foil. All right, you guys, now that my fingers are now fully wrapped up, this is what it looks like. My fingers look like some chicken about to be cooked on the grill. It's bad enough I already have these big chunky fingers, but now with this foil over it, it looks like I am about to cook a meal. But anywho, I am just slipping my hand into this plastic glove just because I like to move around and do things while my hands are soaked, while my nails are soaking, and I just don't want to be constricted. So that's part of the reason why. But I have also found that with this glove over it, it helps to trap in some of the heat, which also speeds up this process of melting down this acrylic so that we can get our natural nails back. So you all, now we are just going to go ahead and chill and let this rest for about 40 minutes and then take it off to see what the progress is. Okay, you guys, it has been 40 minutes. I am just ripping off this glove just to see what we are working with. All right, I have slid off that first piece of foil off that index finger, and we are looking good so far. As you can see, a lot of the acrylic has melted down. And I am just taking the actual file just to shave off some of the acrylic, I guess you could say just like the specks that I have melted, just to see how far we have gotten. And we are pretty far. We are almost done with that nail. I am just going to go ahead and place the foil back on and let that melt down some more and then come back. So you guys, as I was slipping my finger back into the foil, I did feel that maybe I should put a little bit more acetone. So I just went and poured a little bit more acetone down into the foil, and you can do this as well if you need a little bit more acetone. All right, you guys, now it has been a full 50 minutes. Now I am just taking off the foil from the rest of the other fingers, and I am just shaving down that those pieces of acrylic that has melted, and I am just shaving down the pieces of acrylic that has melted with the very fine sanding band. I don't need the coarse band anymore. Now that we have that acrylic pretty much broken down, I'm even peeling some pieces away and then just going in and shaving off some of the excess. You might find that you have some thin pieces of acrylic that are not really that thick. When I see that, I just go ahead and place the foil back on a little bit more and then come back, and usually it is pretty much melted the rest of the way. Now I'm just going back in and sanding down the rest of what was there. And like I said, you guys, you don't need to use like a coarse drill bit for this. I'm just tapping very nicely and lightly with the 80/80 grit file that I am using. I'm just filing the top of my nails. We are looking good. I am just going to put a little oil over my fingers, and then I am going to go wash my hands and come back. All right, you all, we are fully done. We do have our full natural nail back now. You all, it is so important to soak off your nails instead of ripping them off so that you do not rip off a layer of your nail when you are taking off the acrylic. I do have some of the markings on my nail from when I was shaving off the oil from the nail when I'm doing the prep process, but for the most part my nails are nice and solid. I don't have any of those cuts in them, or shall I say, like, I don't have like any rippings in my nails. It's still pretty solid, and that is because I soak off my nails. So you all, please drop a comment down below if you have any questions. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and until next time.